Nobody taught us this in school. Nobody taught our parents either. But our grandparents knew something about plants that most people today have completely forgotten. They knew that certain plants were not just decoration. They were not just food. They were income. Families during the Great Depression grew specific plants in small backyard plots and sold them at local markets to pay rent, feed children, and survive winters that would have broken most modern households. A single plant, grown in a small space, generating real money. And somewhere along the way, a world that wanted you dependent on employers, loans, and monthly salaries made sure that knowledge quietly disappeared. Today, we are bringing it back. Every plant on this list can be grown at home, in a backyard, on a balcony, or even on a windowsill and turned into real income. Stay with me because number 7 on this list is one of the highest profit per square foot crops in the world, and most people walk past it at the farmer's market without a second thought. And number 10 is something so simple that our grandmothers grew it without trying in specialty grocery stores across America, are currently paying premium prices for it every single week. Let us start with lavender. And if you think this is just a pretty purple flower, you are leaving serious money on the table. Lavender is one of the most commercially valuable plants per acre in the world. Small lavender farms across the American Pacific Northwest and Midwest generate between $30,000 and $100,000 per acre annually, not through bulk commodity sales, but through direct-to-consumer products that cost almost nothing to make. Our grandparents grew lavender along fence lines and garden borders because it kept pests away and made the home smell clean. They did not realize they were sitting on a gold mine. Research from the Agricultural Economics Department at Cornell University found that value-added lavender products, dried bundles, essential oil, sachets, soaps, and culinary lavender generate profit margins of 300 to 500% above raw material cost. A single lavender plant costs $3 to $6 at any nursery. One established lavender plant produces enough dried flower bundles to sell for $15 to $30 at a farmer's market. 10 plants cost you $30 to start. 10 plants in full production can generate $300 per market weekend. You can find lavender starter plants at Home Depot, Lowe's, and most local nurseries right now. Your grandmother grew it along her garden path because it was beautiful and useful. You can grow it along your garden path and pay your electric bill. Next is microgreens, and this one is where the money gets serious fast. Microgreens are the seedling stage of vegetables and herbs harvested just 7 to 14 days after germination, when they are 1 to 3 inches tall and packed with concentrated nutrition. They look delicate and expensive because they are. Restaurants, hotels, specialty grocery stores, and health food markets pay between $25 and $50 per pound for fresh microgreens delivered weekly. Research published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry found that microgreens contain up to 40 times the nutrient density of their fully grown counterparts, which is exactly why chefs and nutritionists pay premium prices for them without hesitation. Here is the business reality. $10 tray of sunflower microgreen seeds produces a harvest worth $150 at wholesale restaurant pricing within 2 weeks. You do not need land. You do not need a greenhouse. You need trays, potting mix, seeds, and a sunny window or a basic grow light. Our grandmothers grew sprouts on the kitchen counter during winter when the garden was frozen because they knew fresh green things kept families healthy. Today, that same instinct is a legitimate business that people are running from spare bedrooms and generating $4,000 to $8,000 a month. The knowledge never changed, only the market caught up. Third is mushrooms. And this one surprises almost everyone because most people do not think of mushrooms as plants, but they are grown, harvested, and sold exactly like any high-value crop, and the profit margins are extraordinary. Specialty mushrooms oyster, saitake, lion's mane, and reishi sell at farmers markets and specialty grocery stores for $12 to $25 per pound. Restaurants that feature them on menus pay even more for reliable weekly supply. Research from Penn State University's Agricultural Extension program found that mushroom cultivation generates the highest profit per square foot of any crop that can be grown indoors, outperforming microgreens, herbs, and specialty vegetables in controlled comparisons. A beginner mushroom kit costs $20 to $30 and produces multiple harvests over several months. Oyster mushrooms in particular fruit in as little as 10 days from inoculation and produce yields of 1 to 3 pounds per 5-pound block of substrate. Our grandparents grew mushrooms in root cellars and damp garden corners because they were food that required almost no attention. Today, that same low-attention crop is selling out at every farmer's market in America. You can start with a single kit this weekend and have your first harvest before the end of the month. 3 plants: lavender, microgreens, and mushrooms. And between them, they cover outdoor farming, indoor production, and specialty food markets. All 3 can be started for under $50 total. If this is the kind of knowledge that should have been taught in school instead of forgotten, subscribe right now, because every week we cover what nobody in the financial mainstream wants you to figure out on your own. Now let us talk about aloe vera. And most people think of this purely as a skin remedy, but aloe vera is one of the fastest growing segments in the global cosmetics, health food, and wellness industry, currently valued at over $7 billion annually and growing every year. The demand for raw aloe vera gel, dried aloe powder, and aloe-based products is outpacing commercial supply in multiple markets right now. Our grandmothers kept aloe plants on kitchen windowsills because a cut leaf treated every burn, scrape, and skin irritation in the house for free. They were unknowingly maintaining an asset that the beauty industry now pays premium prices to access. A mature aloe vera plant produces offshoots called pups baby plants that grow at the base and can be separated and repotted continuously. 1 aloe plant becomes 5 within a year. 5 become 25. Mature aloe plants sell at nurseries, farmers markets, and online plant shops for $8 to $30 each, depending on size. Aloe gel extracted from large leaf sells to small batch cosmetic makers and soap producers for consistent prices. You can find starter aloe plants at any Walmart or Home Depot for $2 to $5. Your grandmother never thought of her windowsill plant as inventory. You can afford to think differently. 5th is herbs, specifically the 4 that command the highest consistent prices at farmers markets and specialty grocery stores across America. Basil, cilantro, chives, and specialty varieties like Thai basil, lemon basil, and purple basil sell for $3 to $6 per small bunch at retail. The same bunch costs under 50 cents to grow. Research from the USDA Agricultural Marketing Service found that fresh culinary herbs generate the highest profit margin of any produce category sold at direct-to-consumer farmers markets, consistently outperforming vegetables, fruits, and flowers in dollar per square foot return. A single 4 by 8 foot raised bed planted with mixed culinary herbs produces harvests worth $150 to $300 per month at farmers market pricing. Our grandparents grew herb gardens because fresh herbs were the difference between food that was merely nutritious and food that was genuinely good. Every Italian grandmother, every Greek household, every family with roots in any culture that valued real cooking had herbs growing somewhere near the kitchen. Today, those same herbs at that same quality command prices that make a small herb garden one of the most financially efficient pieces of land you can cultivate. 6th is succulents. And this is the plant business that requires the least space, the least water, the least maintenance, and still generates consistent income at every price point. Succulents and cacti are the best-selling category of houseplants in America, consistently outselling tropical plants, flowering plants, and outdoor garden plants combined, according to data from the National Gardening Association. A single succulent that costs $1 as a cutting sells for $4 to $8 as a rooted plant in a small pot. The same plant in a decorative arrangement sells for $15 to $40. Our grandmothers kept succulents on windowsills and porches because they were impossible to kill and always looked beautiful without any effort. That same quality, low maintenance, high visual appeal, broad consumer demand is exactly why the succulent resale market has grown consistently for over a decade. You can propagate succulents from a single leaf. Place a healthy leaf on dry soil, do not water it, and within weeks a new plant begins growing from the base of the leaf. 1 plant becomes dozens within a single growing season. Sell them online through Etsy or Facebook Marketplace, at local farmers markets, or directly to neighbors and coworkers. Your grandmother's windowsill full of succulents was not just decoration. It was a propagation nursery that nobody thought to monetize. 6 plants in, and every single one of them represents a real income stream that people are running from homes and small spaces right now across America. Comment below which of these are you already growing, and which one are you starting this week. Tell me your situation: balcony, backyard, spare room, or windowsill, and I will tell you exactly which plant fits best. Now let us talk about lemon trees. And this one requires a slightly longer timeline than the others on this list, but the payoff is unlike anything else here. A single mature lemon tree in a warm climate or a large indoor container produces 200 to 400 lemons per year. At current specialty grocery store pricing of $1 to $2 per organic lemon, that single tree represents $400 to $800 in annual fruit production. But the real money is not in the lemons themselves. Research from agricultural extension programs in California and Florida found that value-added citrus products, preserved lemons, limoncello, lemon curd, dried lemon slices, and lemon essential oil generate 3 to 5 times the revenue of raw fruit sales from the same harvest. Our grandparents grew lemon trees in yards and in large pots moved indoors during winter because fresh lemons were expensive at the market, and having your own tree meant never paying for them again. Today, that same tree means never paying for them and potentially generating income from what you cannot use yourself. Mayer lemon trees are available at most garden centers and online nurseries for $15 to $30. They begin producing fruit within 2 to 3 years and continue producing for decades. Your grandmother's lemon tree was not landscaping. It was a long-term investment that paid dividends every single year. Eighth is chamomile. And this one surprises almost everyone because most people think of chamomile purely as a tea, which is exactly what it is and exactly why it generates serious money in the right market. The global chamomile market is currently valued at over $500 million annually and growing, driven by demand from the tea industry, cosmetics manufacturers, and pharmaceutical companies that use chamomile extract in everything from eye drops to skin creams to anxiety supplements. Dried chamomile flowers sell at farmers markets and specialty stores for $8 to $20 per ounce. One established chamomile plant produces enough flowers in a single growing season to dry and sell for $50 to $150 worth of product. Our grandmothers grew chamomile in garden borders because it kept pests away from vegetables, and the flowers made a tea that settled every upset stomach and helped every anxious child sleep. They were growing a commercial crop without knowing it. You can find chamomile seeds at any garden center for under $2. Plant it once, and it reseeds itself every year, spreading gently and producing more flowers each season without any replanting. Your grandmother never charged for chamomile tea. You have the option to think about that differently. If you are serious about turning even a small growing space into real income this year, subscribe right now. Every week we go this deep into practical, proven strategies that do not require investors, business loans, or anything except soil, seeds, and consistency.